Hello, and welcome to the Beautifully Human podcast. I'm Nick Sheesby. In this podcast, I speak with beautiful humans from all around the world, sharing with you their incredible stories, revealing the power in every human story, to spread love and humanity to a world that is in desperate need of it, to show that we can all connect in beautiful ways, no matter where we come from or what we look like. What you will find out is that we are all beautifully human. Let's all be beautifully human. So, Alex, thank you for being on here with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for asking me to come talk
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. It's amazing when I think of when we actually met, which was almost 11 months ago now. And it feels like, with the events of what 2020 became, it feels like 2 years ago already.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
And then I think back and I go, oh no, wait, that was actually January of this year when we were there. And yeah, after the 6 months of COVID, it has felt it has felt like quite a long year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want it all to be about that, but what's it been like in Estonia?
Well, it's pretty dark outside. It was snowing today.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
it was. I'm right now not in a capital. I am in Tartu, which is like a student town, and Tallinn. It's near to the sea, so they have more. It's more cold there, but it's a little bit warmer in Tartu. And we had no snow, and it was snowing today, and it was so beautiful.
I bet.
Uh,
Yeah, we had very foggy weather this morning when I woke up, but now it's a pretty nice day. It's a little chilly. It's probably way warmer here than it is over there, I would imagine.
yeah, it's like 3 degrees
Ah,
in Celsius.
yes. Yeah, that is way colder. It's probably around 12 here Celsius. So it's a pretty nice day for almost December. We've had pretty nice weather the last couple of days, so that's been nice. Um, how has it been with COVID in Estonia this year?
Uh, well, it wasn't so harsh. And like for me, it was almost nothing because I already was always at home and just studied all the time. But yeah, we had a little bit uh, like more harsh time in May, I guess. And
Okay.
then in the summer, we were almost all right. We had no people tested positive almost.
Oh wow.
And now it's like a second wave
Yeah.
from October, I guess. And so this week they decided to um, like make those restrictions again, and we have to be on social distancing, and the like I don't know, we can't go to university anymore, and high schools are also went to like digital study.
Yeah.
But I don't know. People are actually what I was very like surprised to see. Um, it's actually a lot of people out there who are wearing masks, and also it's mandatory now. It
Ah, okay.
never was, and now it's mandatory again for the first time, and people are actually wearing them.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah,
Yeah, that's been one thing in this country. It has been very politicized with the masks wearing and not wearing. So that's been one of the hardest issues for us is people just keep demanding their freedom and thinking that they're losing freedoms because they have to wear masks, and it's been pretty out of control here ever since the beginning. We haven't had any good days. I would say we had days with less cases, but now we're just, it's terrible right now.
Yeah. Well, for us, it's also a bit terrible with like positive cases right now. It's not the same that for you because our population is smaller, a lot smaller. So like 300 cases a day for us, it's like and like I don't know even how to call it. Like it's a lot for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we also have those people who don't want to wear masks, and I guess they are making demonstration tomorrow.
Okay.
In Tallinn, and I don't know if it will be good for them.
Yeah.
I think maybe in 2 weeks we'll see even more people ill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had our Thanksgiving holiday here, and all the health experts are very concerned with people gathering and spreading it. So they're thinking it's in the next couple of weeks we're going to have a massive spike in cases with people testing positive after wanting to get together for the holidays. So.
Oh yeah, I imagine that.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but I know it was one of those where people were very upset too about not getting together with their families and everything, and yeah, I understand, but it's also I'd rather keep everybody safe and have future holidays together than be selfish and have one right now and spread everything around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. One thing that was really funny on this Discord app, which I'd never used before, I don't know if it says it on yours, but I loved it. It said when you had messaged me, it said this is the very beginning of your legendary conversation with Leg Explorer.
Yeah, I have the same.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, that's a very good omen for the start of a podcast recording. I thought that was very, very cool. I've actually never used the app before, so that was my first interaction with it, and I thought that was pretty lovely.
Okay, then welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit. I met you at your restaurant, which I forget what the name of it was, but I remember having a very wonderful vegan Estonian Christmas dinner there.
Oh yeah. The restaurant it still is. It's called Vegan Inspiration, which you can guess it's inspiration.
Yes.
In Estonian.
Yes. I thought it was that, but I knew I would make it not sound as lovely as you would, so I just let you handle that one.
But I also have an accent in Estonian because my first language is Russian.
That's right.
So whenever I speak, I actually speak with Russian accent.
That is true. I remember talking with you about that, and I was fascinated with the dynamic of Russian in Estonia. Yeah, which I'm sure we'll get into some in your answers. So I don't want to steal any of your answers before we get into that. But yeah, I was very excited to get to talk to you and share this around, because I think it's pretty cool. One of the beautiful things about this podcast is just showing life from all around the world, and like, how many languages do you speak?
3. Russian as my first language, as I said, then Estonian as my second, and English as a third. I also can speak a little bit of German, but like very basics, and I rather not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it has a lot of like, because Estonia was very much influenced by Germany in the last and like 19th century, I guess, as well. Estonian language has a lot of German words in it, but with just Estonian accent.
Yeah,
So even if you are trying to learn German, it's pretty easy to memorize all the words.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Well, and yeah, like I remember when I messaged you about this and you had voiced concerns. And, what I think is really neat is that it's your third language that you're speaking with me, and it's my only language that I'm speaking with you. So I think that's pretty amazing to be able to have this conversation with you. And that was what was so fun about meeting you in Estonia and connecting with you was, we're very limited because of our language skills, and I would love to have been able to speak Russian or Estonian with you, but because of the worldwide use of English, we were able to connect. So I think that's something really neat to be able to share with everyone, that you're speaking your third language with me right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Actually, I think just some of my thoughts about my English are also caused by Estonian culture, because Estonians who speak Estonian as their first language, they have a little bit more possibilities to learn English, because most of our pop culture is also like American pop culture, and it's
Okay.
based on it. And so, if I want to watch any movie or cartoon on Russian, I'll find it easily everywhere. But if I want to find something in Estonian, it's pretty hard. Or a book or a song, it's just hard, because no one ever translates it to a language that only 1 million of people speaks.
Right.
So yeah, and Estonians, especially young Estonians, they speak English very well.
Yeah,
And I learned English only when I got to uni.
that's right. I do remember you saying that, and I was blown away by how well you spoke already with us, and that you had just started learning it pretty recently.
From great to hear. I'll take it as a compliment.
Yes. Please do. It was every, like you said, I mean, Estonians, everyone that we met in Estonia spoke English incredibly well. It was really, we chose to go to Estonia maybe a few days before we ended up in Estonia. We just thought it would be cool to go see Tallinn, and didn't really know anything. I'd never heard Estonian spoken. So we didn't really know much about it, which I think was a really neat way to explore it, was just learning all about it for the first time. And yeah, it was really neat. Everyone was so kind, but yeah, everyone spoke English really, really well.
Yeah, I guess that's a feature of small countries.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, it was really neat. I loved our time there. We've actually spoken many times since then and said, man, we would really love to go back, but spend a lot more time and just see more of the country, because we saw Tallinn and then took a bus from there to Riga, but we didn't get to see a ton of any other stuff besides Tallinn, but we absolutely loved Tallinn.
then you absolutely should come back, maybe in the summer, because you already saw everything in winter.
Yes.
Well, maybe not everything, but quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see Estonia in summer when it's brighter,
Yeah.
not that dark as it is right now outside.
Yes. Yeah.
But
That was a trip of darkness. I mean, we went up to the Arctic Circle and then came down through there, so we were very much in the dark a lot of the time, but it was really beautiful. I love wintertime. I love the way everything looks with the snow, and yeah, it was just really beautiful. I wanted to mention, it was quite funny too with our trip. we started off thinking, well, let's go to Germany and see these Christmas markets. And so we went to Germany, saw the Christmas markets, and then we got to Estonia in January, and there was still Christmas markets, and we were very confused at why there were Christmas markets. And then I'm pretty sure you were the one that explained to us why there were Christmas markets into January. Do you mind explaining that again to us?
Well, the point is that why German markets, I guess you already understand, because Germany had a big influence on the whole Europe.
Yes.
In older days. Why it's open in January? Well, it's caused by Russian religion. Because Russian Christmas is in the first or second week of January. I guess it's from 7th till 13th, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And so a lot of Estonia is like a neighbor of Russia. So there's a lot of tourists who come for winter holidays from Russia, and winter holidays in Russia is like from the 1st January for 2 weeks till 14th or 13th. And so they have a lot of time to rest, and they just go everywhere. And Estonia is a very good place to go for them. It's easy. It's not so expensive as it would be in Finland, for example, or in the same Sweden or Germany. So they just go to Estonia, and it's very profitable for Estonian German market to be open when Russian come.
Yeah, that was really cool to learn. When we left Germany, we thought we were kind of done with the Christmas markets, and then we got to Estonia, and they were still going full swing. And yeah, it was cool to learn that. And we actually saw a lot of Russians in Finland as well, but we saw quite a bit more in Estonia when we got there. So that makes a lot of sense that it was cheaper and nicer to be in Estonia for them for that holiday.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the first question. Tell me a story that shaped your life.
Well, actually, I guess when I saw these questions that you sent me, and there are a lot of questions like a story that did something to your life.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty hard to answer, because I don't think I put so much meaning into one concrete story. Each story gives you a lot of things, and every day is kind of a story that where you walk around and think about stuff, and these things that you think about are even sometimes even more important than like some particular stories that you live through. And so it's pretty hard to say that some kind of story changed my life, or something that I regretted a lot. It's like if I want to tell a story about something that changed my life, I should just talk about my whole life and describe my whole life, what happened in there.
Yeah. That would be beautiful.
I can tell you some stories that had a great impact. I can't say that something really changed after them. I guess I've already been the way I am, the most of the part.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested, I can tell you some kind of these stories.
100%. That sounds beautiful.
It's snowing again.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. Yeah, that sounds
So
beautiful, though. Take it away. I'm all ears. I'm anxious to hear them.
okay, so I guess last 4 years are not so interesting in my life because I just study and that's actually all I do. And for example, my partner who also lives with me in a dorm is right now in Tallinn and parties with other our friends. Uh, but I just sit home for like the fourth week and I do not go home and stuff. I just study. But I think there are actually two very important things in my life that influenced me a lot. The first one is school that I finished 4 years ago, and which left me with a big mental trauma. So, yeah, uh, a school time was a pretty hard time for me. From one side, I loved studying a lot, and I went to Russian school. We still have some Russian schools in Estonia. Uh, Not some, pretty a lot of them. Uh, and the point is that at my school, we learned Estonian a lot. Like our first 3 years at the school, we only spoke Estonian, and our teachers were only Estonian, which maybe caused, which maybe is a reason why actually know Estonian so well,
Definitely.
because some other schools are not so good. But the problem mainly was with my class teacher who has to support you from one side and give you opportunities for your life and maybe sometimes be kind to you and say how grateful she is that you took some responsibilities for your class to do, and she never did that, and the only thing she did was yelling at me. She actually hated me, and I hated her back. That was pretty awesome. And I guess all started um, when I was in the seventh grade. So I was like 13, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
13. I guess I don't know, maybe you don't, but in Estonia, I guess every school has their um, public group with memes about teachers, about school and stuff, with local memes. And we have had it as well. And most of the times, uh, the main point of this group is that no teacher knows about this group. But
Oh, wow.
somehow, huh?
Oh, I was just saying, wow. Didn't.
And somehow our class teacher um, became aware of this group, and she also found out that the picture of her that we used as a meme was taken by me.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so there was a big scandal. We had a lot of trouble with that, and mostly for some reason, the main problems were with me because I made this photo of her
Yeah.
just sitting. And there were like group administrators who made most of the memes, and they had less trouble than me because they were in another class.
Okay.
This teacher was only my class.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so they asked our parents to come to school to talk to them and to us as well. and this teacher was yelling a lot about how bad I am and how she wants to go to the police and to say them that I'm a criminal.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay. But um, the main point is that with me in this like room where she was screaming at us, were also these three girls who were administrators of this group, and their parents and my parents. And so uh, parents of these girls asked them to apologize for what they did, and they actually apologized. So my parents were very protective and yelled at the teacher back. And so teacher felt like, yeah, she can't do anything. She can't really go to the police because it's a stupid thing to go to the police with.
Yeah.
And so this was maybe the moment when our hatred to each other started.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And but the good point is that this teacher actually needed me a lot because I was an active girl at school, and I was making some like stuff that was meant for class, like organizing different concerts and parties and how to call it, like when you a freshman at high school and then seniors somehow bring you to this like school life.
Oh,
The,
orientation, kind of? Like a welcome?
no, mostly seniors are just making bad stuff to freshmen, and it's like a ritual. I guess everyone has that.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. So yeah, I was most of the time the organizer of the stuff, and so this teacher actually needed me a lot, but sometimes I did things that she didn't like, and she always yelled at me.
Yeah.
And this was always something that I really wanted to do. Like, for example, in my last year at school, we organized, uh, we made posters for the 8th of March. Whew, that was hard to say. So yeah, there were a lot of different posters around, and they were actually showing kids different interesting info about powerful women and about celebrities that were feminists, and there were some posters with movies with strong female characters.
Oh, yeah.
And different interesting things like that. We also made QR codes for which led to different articles and videos. Also very interesting and connected to this very beautiful and interesting day. But the only thing I got back was yelling again. I was already 18,
Yeah.
and she was yelling at me like I was, I don't know, 5.
Ugh.
And she said that I spit it in her back
Oh,
for
wow.
what I did. Yeah. Also, I have a tattoo, which it's in Russian, and it's her quote. I can translate it as distorted sense of beauty.
Okay, I like that.
It's something she told me I have.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's kind of a very interesting period in my life. I can't say that everything at school was horrible, but this main antagonist of this whole period was my class teacher
Yeah.
and also administration of the school, like headmaster who also hated posters
Mm.
about International Women's Day and who also never protected or helped me with doing interesting stuff. So yeah, I guess sometimes I think that um, maybe it was a good option to go to another high school and finish another high school, which is more, I don't know, like made for me,
Yeah.
like the high school where you can actually express yourself and maybe learn a bit of English.
Right.
But uh, at the other side, I think it gave me a lot to think. I also had a lot of emotional troubles because of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But at the same time, I learned how to control my emotions and how to express them, which I never knew how to do. So yeah.
That is a very amazing story. Like I just see that they were seeing you as a threat, and they did not like being challenged or did not want women to be empowered. Would you agree with that?
Uh, well, I can, yeah, I agree that they saw me as a threat, but I don't think that the problem is in that they thought that women should be empowered or something. I guess that's the question of age and USSR society.
Okay.
So most of the teachers who were Russian teachers, we also had Estonian teachers. Estonian teachers were mostly young, uh, or even if they weren't young, they were pretty cool. Uh, but most of the Russian teachers, they were like 40, 50 plus.
Yeah.
So they were born in USSR. They were raised in USSR, and they most of them finished university at USSR,
Wow.
and they still have all those beliefs that they formed when they were raised in USSR. And mostly this means to believe that the International Women's Day is the day of spring and beauty. It also means that every woman has to give a birth to a kid.
Oh wow.
It also means that um gays is something bad, and it's not that we are talking about. And also, bad, and like, okay, it's okay for someone to think that, but I do not think it's a good thing to teach you at the school.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And yeah, mostly like when this situation with posters happened, the first teacher, the first person who reacted to that was a social worker who has to protect you because she is a social worker.
Right.
But she was the one who was running all over the school and taking posters off.
Oh wow.
And then when I met her, we met on the third floor, as I remember it. and it was like in a Western movie when you um, move your head
Yeah.
and you see this person and you look at each other for a long time. And I was putting back poster and she was taking the other one off. And,
Yeah.
and she told me that I was ruining um, a day for her, like the day which supposed to be beautiful, the day where beautiful boys in beautiful white shirts with flowers have to come to school and give them to teachers and other females and to their moms, and that is so great that men are respecting women once a year.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, but that's how we do it to make them respect us all the time.
Yeah.
And he didn't believe me.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's nice to have that, sure, it's nice to have it that one day, but how about all the time? How about just respecting
Yeah.
women year round instead of doing it one day and being, rewarded for that, or, applauded for the one day that you treat women with respect? How about all the time?
Yeah. And also, it was quite interesting that I guess this year I started to, like, I spoke to a girl who is finishing school this year, and now she's studying in another school. But when I made this performance with posters, she was studying in our school, and she saw them, and she's like a very strong uh, feminist and like body positive girl and very interesting person to speak to.
Yeah.
And she told me that she actually remembers that and how we did that, and that she was impressed because she always thought that she was the only one who thinks that, and that no one else is a feminist at the school.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Wow, that's really amazing.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you put that positivity out with people trying to stop you, and you kept doing it, and then this woman that was younger than you remembers that as, oh, I'm not the only one here that's doing this. I think that's beautiful. It's a lot of what I'm doing with this podcast, is just like, whatever part of your story that you have that you may or may not think is powerful is definitely powerful to somebody. Like, you're doing that for the betterment of treatment for you and for women, and then there's someone younger than you who's watching you do that and is like, man, that's really awesome, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really, really incredible. If you have some prepared, I'll just listen. I'm really enjoying listening to your stories.
Sometimes it's just easier to come up with a story conversation because it like comes in there. I really wanted to go somewhere. I really like to travel, and I really like to travel alone as well.
Yeah.
It's like you have a total freedom,
Yep.
and you can choose whatever you want to do. And you like, I'm the person who is always like, I don't really care where we go and what we do. I just want to explore the place. So if you want to go somewhere specifically, we can go there. So if I go with somewhere, I always go to places that other people want to go.
Yeah.
And when I'm alone, I can go, I can just think about what I want to right now. And I do this. And
Yes.
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's the best part of traveling is, getting I've always thought, say, if someone handed me a large sum of money, and then people have said, what would you do with that money? And I truly would just say, I would call you up and I'd say, Alex, where do you want to go? Let's go. And I would I would love to go where people go. So I do like it when I'm traveling with people, because I've ended up places with friends that I didn't necessarily, I would never have picked. And then when I get to go by myself, then yeah, I pick for myself. But it's nice to see where other people want to explore, and I'm always ready to go. I want to see every part of the world. So I'm never mad when people pick places, but it's fun, yeah, to get to choose on your own. Where do you want to see?
Well, what do I want to see?
Yeah, where would you, if I could give you a trip to anywhere, if I came up and said, Alex, I have all the money in the world, where would you go?
I think I want to go on a long, long trip, which would go everywhere. Like, you go for a couple of days here, then you go for a couple of days there, and like, yeah, I traveled a lot. I can't say a lot, but pretty much in Europe. I want to go out of the Europe,
Y-
maybe go to the Canada, maybe go to the South America,
yeah.
and also to Asia. I was in Vietnam once, and it was incredible. I
Uh,
never ate such great food before.
yeah, I imagine. I would love to go to Vietnam. I've not been yet, but I
Yes,
would love to go.
so I want to go back and just eat this stuff for all year long.
Yeah.
And it's so cheap there. You can like literally do whatever you want with a minimum sum of money.
Yes.
It's hard to get there because it's expensive, but when
Right.
you're there, you can live in the middle of in a city center and go to the best places. And yeah, but beer there is not a good one.
I've not heard great reviews on the beer there, but food wise, I've heard it's just another world, just amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would
So
love.
then it's decided when you get rich, we go travel.
Yes, I mean, I would love to meet up in Vietnam or Canada or South America. I would go to all of those places right now. It's one of the sad things for me is, I travel quite often, and being from here in the States, we have travel restrictions to so many countries that
Mm.
I just can't go. We can't even go to Canada right now.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a problem. Um,
Which I don't blame them. I mean, no one, this country hasn't taken this virus seriously, so I would not want anyone from this country coming into my country if we've been taking it seriously or done well with COVID. I wouldn't want us
mm,
coming in, So it's one of those, I understand why, but it makes me very sad.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's pretty great to be a European citizen and with Estonian passport because I guess I saw some like statistics about different passports and the amount of countries you can go to without visa or like paying fee. And for Estonia, it's like a lot of places. We are on the sixth place in this statistics, I guess, maybe on the seventh or something. And like it means we can actually go everywhere. We actually can go to US right now, I guess.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, and you don't need visa. I think so, or at least I looked up for it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We just need to fill some form and then go whatever you want to.
Wow, that's really neat. Yeah, I wish I had another passport that I could just travel on and not and have. I wish I had two passports. I wish I had a Canadian passport. That'd be the easiest one since it's closest. But that's really cool. I did not know that about Estonia. That you
Hmm.
wouldn't need visas and everything to travel to a lot of places.
Well, you can come. I'll teach you Estonian language. You
Yeah.
should live here for 7 or 8 years, and then you can get a passport.
Okay. I'm in. I would love that actually. I definitely when we left that was one of the discussions is I was thinking that would be a place that I would move to Estonia. I absolutely loved it. I was actually quite sad when we were leaving because we weren't going to be back. We weren't going to be back for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But once this,
I've never been to US. I actually want to visit US as well. Maybe LA, for example.
yeah,
Uh, to go to Ellen Show, for example, as
ah,
well.
yeah, that would be neat.
Why not?
I have not been to the Ellen show, but I worked with a band. This was probably 10 years ago, and we went to a sound studio in Los Angeles, and we were walking into the studio, and Ellen rode by on a bike and was just screaming and waving at everyone. So that was kind of cool. It was pretty funny to see her just in person, just waving and yelling at everybody. Not yelling, but just saying hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine that from her.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, come on over to the States. I'm locked over here, so I can't really go. There's it's funny. I look almost every week to see where in the world that we are able to go with US passports, and there's a couple places that are close proximity to where you are or closer than we are here, obviously. Um, that I was like, maybe it's a time that I've never thought about going to these countries, but since it's our only options, why not? It's
Oh,
like,
which countries are there?
I know Albania is one that the states
Okay.
that we can get to from here now. Yeah, there's not many in Europe, but I think Turkey you can get into now, which I've actually
Yeah,
been. I went to Istanbul and it was incredible.
I've never been there,
Yeah,
actually.
I loved Istanbul. It was really beautiful, and just the culture there was really incredible. It was really neat.
I want to see that one day as well.
Yeah,
So when you get rich, we go to Turkey.
deal. I would love that. I would love to see all these places again and go to new places. Um,
Tobania, for example.
where?
Tobania.
Yeah, I would go. I had my grandparents. They lived in Ohio, and they had neighbors who were actually from Albania. Um, and they were the sweetest people ever. They took care of my grandparents until they passed away and checked on them daily. And the man's mother, who was I would imagine the same age as my grandmother, she would make soups and pies and incredible food for my grandparents. And I sometimes when I was there, I would benefit. And they just called her grandma. I never knew her real name, but I knew her as grandma as well. And she would just be baking and making amazing soups for my grandparents. So I'm in for
It's
Albania. If that's an example of the three people that I know from Albania, if the rest of Albania is like that, then I count me in. So I was gonna ask you, if I just saw this on your Instagram the other day, if you would feel comfortable on the way out. I've been starting to play music on the way out. Would you feel comfortable playing a song?
oh,
I know I'm
uh,
putting you on the spot.
yeah. I actually, I think you saw the songs that are in highlight, which is called. There are two of them, actually three, but two like main of them, called Matsuk FM. Uh,
Yes.
it's actually a thing I do in Instagram sometimes. It was born by a while I was on my academic leave from university. I didn't want to study anymore, so I was sitting at home, and like I just asked people to ask me to sing some songs for them, and then I started to record them, and I think it was pretty fun. And I even wanted to continue, but I don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting maybe till like Christmas, and then I'll have some quality free time when I can sing again.
Beautiful. I look forward to seeing those.
This year it would be harder because I am writing my bachelor thesis.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I will study the whole winter
Yeah.
and the whole spring until I finish. And I don't really want to, but
Yeah.
if I started, I want to finish it.
Yes. What's your thesis on?
Well, I study philosophy,
Oh, okay. Cool.
and particularly I study practical philosophy, which means ethics and politics and things like that we can actually use in real world. And my thesis is on ethical theory, which is called ethical egoism, which is basically, it means that um, you are supposed to do whatever benefits you more, uh, or otherwise, like you are not allowed, you are morally not allowed to do anything that harms you
Okay.
or your benefits. And I'm trying to protect this theory because when I just started my studies, uh, I found out that every theory that is more popular, and ethical egoism is not popular at all. Popular theories are protected a lot, and there are lots of people who are fight, are trying to find different ways to protect theories that are just not working for me.
Yeah.
And ethical egoism felt like, in Estonian you call it ulgmehike. It's like how to call it, like it's a theory that someone who tries to attack it makes it so small and weird that it's easy to attack this theory. So and it feels like people do the same with ethical egoism, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to protect it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So how
But
is
it's really hard because people don't like when people act not like, most of the theories are saying or are telling us to act mostly to exist for other people.
right?
Like
Yeah.
you have to do like, for example, utilitarianism theory. It's about like doing everything that maximizes happiness for all people, or for all living creatures.
Right.
And it sounds great, but at the same time, it means that you are not caring about yourself. You are only thinking about how to maximize the world's happiness. And I think that actually most of the people don't want to do that. And ethical egoism says that if you want to do something to help people and you feel like you're emotionally benefiting from helping other people, or from, I don't know, being a politic who is trying to protect human rights, then go out for that. It's something you can do
Yeah.
because it's something you like to do. And if you don't want to do that, well, you just can do whatever you want to do. It's your life,
Yeah.
and you can live it the way you want to live it. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully believe that. And I think something a lot of people lose along the way trying to help people all the time is that to help people you have to help yourself too. You can't forget about yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not
Yeah.
taking care of yourself, then it's really, really hard to be there for other people as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And like most of the times, you are actually, you want to protect your people who are around you, who are very important to you, and it's okay to uh, help them more than other people. It's people who are important to you, and they are not just some random people on the street. Yeah, you can help other people as well, but don't forget about people who make you happier
Yeah, definitely.
for you help other people.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally
And
agree.
the main point is that the only person who can actually make you the happy person is yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's so important, especially in these times with COVID and just this unknown style of life that we're all getting used to. You know, mental health has been a massive struggle for a lot of people, and I, you know, I fully understand that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's this has been a hard time, especially if you're a social person and now you've been at home for 6 months by yourself. Like it's, it's very important to take care of yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I don't think we went into this when we spoke, but for me, I was a massive alcoholic for 7 years and almost died little over 2 years ago, and my mental health was not in a it was a very terrible place. Um, so I've been doing that over the last 2 years of being sober, is getting myself to where, I can be there and help other people. But it was a massive reconstruction of my own mental health to even begin to think of bringing other people in to try and help and be there for them. So I
Yeah,
fully understand that it's a massive part of helping others is keeping yourself, happy and giving yourself the ability to be there for people by taking care of
yeah,
yourself.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually also had some problems with alcohol,
Yeah.
but they were like I weren't totally alcoholic, but always when I felt emotionally or mentally bad, and that was almost every evening.
Yeah.
I went to a bar and I drank myself full, and yeah, I guess I went over it.
Yeah. Um yeah, no, I'm with you on the, when I was drinking heavily, I was drinking all day every day, and it was to cope with loneliness of touring and the work that I was doing, and it was just an escape. I didn't want to feel emotions, so I drank every day, and I drank very heavily, to the point which I know you wouldn't know this, but 2 years ago I had liver failure because of it. So I am permanently sober because I drank myself literally almost to death.
Wow,
So
that's Yeah.
I can understand, anytime I speak with anybody about drinking, I fully understand why, and the ins and outs of the emotions that go into it, or wanting to drink for the lack of emotions, to just forget about everything. And yeah, it's
Hmm.
it's it's very easy to slip into that.
Yeah, yeah. I like, I feel that when you drink to not feel, you actually, or for ex- at least for me, it was that uh, I it was opposite. I felt even more. I was even more sad. I was crying a lot because of that.
Yeah.
But uh, what alcohol actually helped me with, which I was it, which is quite scary,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid that it will come back. Uh, Alcohol always helped me with anxiety.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Whenever I felt anxious, I drank, and it felt like it was better. Like
Totally.
I wasn't anxious anymore.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I Part of my job with the bands that I worked for was doing their meet and greets, where people would pay money to meet them, or dealing with fans who would come for a pre-party for the concert. And yeah, I would definitely start drinking before that, so I would loosen up, and I would, you know, I I'm an extroverted person, but at the same time I'm very introverted, and drinking helped me come out of my shell when I didn't feel like it. It gave me, it just woke me up and let me forget about what I was worried about, and feel good. I loved it. That was a big part of my trouble, is that I really enjoyed being drunk. I loved drinking. So it was very, took it again to a scary level. But I know I was drinking not to feel, but then I was, yeah, crying all the time, and I was in a very dark mental space. And yeah, it was tough. And I didn't get myself out of it. I took myself to the point of hospitalization, and then once I got there and they said you can never drink again, I said, okay, that's my cue to never drink again.
Hmm.
So I wasn't, as some people have that realization moment. I sure did. Well, I did, but it was almost dying. Was my moment
Hmm.
of realization. So I stay away from it now. It's much easier that way.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, and it feels way better. My emotions are more stable. I can handle them when they come up and use them in a good way, and it's much nicer way to handle it for me.
Hmm. Hmm. uh, well, I actually didn't play for a long time. I can play something
Yeah,
if
anything.
you want to,
Yeah, I
but
was just
I
watching
need
your
some time
acoustic.
to take my ukulele.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, then give me a sec.
Okay.
It's actually my fourth year in a dorm, and I have a music corner in my room.
Beautiful.
Uh, I have a ukulele there, and a guitar, and djembe, and also my partner brought a piano,
Oh, cool.
electric piano, with with her. So yeah, we just live with this stuff, and we do not play a lot, but at least we have it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love that you have a music corner in the dorm.
And I also need some time to uh, make my ukulele sound beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got it.
All right.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it sounds quite nice.
So good. But what do you want me to play?
Well, I just thought it was beautiful hearing you sing in your native tongue. So if whatever you feel comfortable playing and singing, I think would be really neat to hear and to share
Okay,
with everyone.
so you want me to sing in Russian?
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love that.
Mm. Okay. That's one of the songs that I played when I was traveling alone and playing ukulele to get some money. And it's actually from the 90s.
Okay.
Uh, so, yeah, here it is.
Beautiful.
Я уйду и не вернусь, я уйду, а ты не жди. Я уйду и не дождусь, когда кончатся дожди. Я уйду и все забуду. Я уйду, ты не смотри. Я уйду, жалеть не буду. Ничего не говори. Ничего не говори. Это жжет огонь внутри. Ты в глаза мне не смотри. Ничего не говори. Well, some kind of that.
I love that. That's so good. Thank
Right.
you.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, that was amazing. Yes, I very much enjoyed that. No, I'm glad. I when I saw those videos, I was thinking I'm definitely going to ask to have you play something because that was really neat. I did not know that you played. Well, Alex, this has been so fun. I've loved catching up with you and talking to you and hearing your stories. This is so cool. I appreciate you doing this with me.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me to do this.
Y-
It was really fun, and it made me think a lot about what happened and what I should do in the future.
Yeah,
So
cool.
yeah, thank you a lot.
Oh, of course. I was, yeah, when I was thinking through who I would love to talk to for this, a lot of it was I want to expose people to cultures and people that, in areas that they would never think about. So I knew that we had had a really lovely conversation earlier this year, and I just wanted to say hey and catch up with you anyway, but I would love to share your story with everyone. So I'm, yeah, super thankful for you joining in with me. Thank you for listening to the Beautifully Human podcast. To hear more beautiful stories from beautiful humans, follow us on Spotify and rate and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Wanderlust Moon Duo. Peace signs up.
Я уйду